Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the latest episode of B Minor and the X Factor. I know you guys have been waiting. We do this every Wednesday and Sunday. I know the time between is probably a little bit troublesome. Like, oh, I missed them so much. They had a great Wednesday, and now I have to wait all the way till Sunday. But fear not, because it is Sunday, and we are back. And today we have the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mick Sullivan on the chat. Mick, introduce yourself, man.
How you guys doing?
I'm stoked, man. I'm looking forward to this. Let's go.
I'm excited. I've been seeing the link up in Pon's Instagram. I'm excited. I've been talking to him about it. I'm ready to be on, man.
It's gonna be amazing. Little background info. Mick is a former walk-on at DePaul. Now he plays at Quincy. He's a beast. We always used to hang out when we were at DePaul. Extracurricular activities and all that good stuff. So it was a good time. I miss him like crazy, but he's about to do big things at Quincy. And yeah, B Minor and the X Factor is back and better than ever. B Minor, how you doing today?
Fantastic, man. Today is such a great day. I am so excited for this one, man, because anybody that knows Pont and is tight with Pont is tight with me. So when I was like, hey, let's try to explore some ideas. As I was a walk-on, Mick. So I walked on at University of Portland. So I was a D1 walk-on. Worked really hard to be the worst player on the team. So you get it, like you got to do everything right as a walk-on.
Yeah.
But we've been having these episodes, and so for this one, I'm excited because I know you were a walk-on, so you know a little bit about what it's like to work really hard and not get into the starting lineup.
Yeah, or not even get into the game.
Or not even get into the game. Exactly. So talk to us a little bit about your preparation, how you handled like that mindset of, okay, I'm going to show up at practice, work my rear off, and then the game's going to come and I'm probably just going to sit on the bench. How was that mentally for you?
For me, the way that I looked at it is we had a lot of guys on our team that had NBA talent, like Max, who's playing for the Bulls G League team now, and then Paul Reed, who's getting ready for the draft. And for me, I looked at practice as a day to get those guys ready and make sure that they were ready for the game. I knew that I wasn't going to be playing, but, I mean, obviously I still loved my team and I wanted them to be doing the best that they were doing. So when we were doing scout team or when we were doing DePaul shooting or we had to rebound, whatever, just working as hard as I can because I knew that as hard as I worked in practice, it would help those guys for the game.
That's awesome, man. That's the mentality of a winner, and that's why I mean, selfless. That just screams selflessness that you said, well, yeah, I rebounded. Most kids would be like, well, why don't I get to shoot? It's like, well, that's not your role on this team. Your role now going into your new school will change, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. Leaving this Saturday, heading down to Quincy. Excited to get there. I'm hoping we'll see what happens with the season if everything stays intact. I'm hoping it does because I'm really excited to get started, get down there.
Tell us a little bit about that, how that worked. Like, Quincy is Division II?
It's Division II, yeah. So my dad actually played there in college, and my mom's dad, my grandpa, played there as well. So right when I entered the transfer portal, they were on me in high school as well. They were one of my top choices in high school, but obviously I chose DePaul. And then when I entered the transfer portal, they were on me right away. I love the coaching staff. They were great. They were calling me every day, texting me, and making sure that I was the top priority for them, and really liked what they had to say. I really felt like I could be a big impact on their team and be able to play, and that's really why I chose there.
Some legacy right there, Mick. I didn't know that your pops and your grandpa played Quincy as well.
Oh yeah. My dad played there. My dad walked on there actually.
That's legendary.
Yeah. My dad was a walk-on at Quincy and earned a scholarship, and he started part of his junior year and all of his senior year.
Wow. That doesn't always happen. If you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I'm going to be a walk-on and I'm going to earn a starting spot, doesn't always work out that way. I'll tell you, I didn't ever get to start a game and never was put on scholarship. So it's definitely, that's the Rudy story. And maybe Sean could be in a movie one of these days. He might like that. I had a chance to just hear from him briefly, but he seems like he's got quite the story. But to get to be a walk-on that earns a scholarship and earns, because you got to earn it.
Mhm.
Everybody earns what they get, but especially as a walk-on, you don't get anything you don't earn. And if you don't, the coach doesn't have to promote you to a scholarship player just because you've been around. But that just shows that he earned it. So that's awesome. That's cool. And now you're going to go play where your mom's dad also, you said?
Yeah. So my dad and my grandfather both played there.
And where exactly, what city is Quincy in?
It's in Quincy, Illinois. It's Southern Illinois area. Kind of right by Missouri.
Mick, I promise you, if there is a situation where we do not have a game/practice and I can get a ride out there, I am coming to as many games as possible. I promise.
Well, you know how Max played at Lewis?
Yeah.
They're in our conference, so we play them.
Oh, that's gonna be. How far is Lewis? That's right next door, right?
It's not far from the city.
Oh, that's
No,
nice.
so I'm hoping that I can get some of you guys out for a game. That'd be really fun.
Ooh, yes, sir. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I've been needing to see Big Mick in action.
I was hoping at one point this year we could have got me, you, Jason, Sully, Swiss all on the court, but
Now that would be a dream come true.
that would have been the dream team.
Oh, man, good times. B Minor, do you want to hit him with a couple of quotes? You want to hit Mick with a couple quotes here?
You gotta grab the bull by the horns. And so that's the metaphor that we're talking about. You gotta grab the bull by the horns. So that's just a mentality thing. And you gotta grab the bull by the horns. It's exactly what it sounds like. So exactly. Tell them about what that means. How does that motivate you? Tell me what that means to you, X Factor.
Well, let me tell you what, that got me pumped right there. X Factor is pumped. Sometimes you got to grab the bull by the horns, okay? You know the bull, it's trying to come at you with all its might, and you got to just, you got to get out there. You know what I mean? You got to take what's yours. You can't be
I've seen
afraid.
you grab the ball by the horns a couple times, Pont.
Multiple times, yes. Every once in a while, you go to the rodeo, and they got those bulls?
I've seen the bulls. I've seen the bulls.
Yeah, I don't know where they might have one of those, but I think that I've ridden one before, and you get on top of it, and you just try your best to, stay on there for as long as you can. So that hypes me up right there. That leads me into my quote of the night, which is don't hate, motivate. Ooh, don't hate.
Bingo.
Don't hate, motivate.
Don't hate, motivate.
That's nice right there, right? Don't hate, motivate. What do I mean by that? Mick, you remember when we used to go on the road and all the student sections used to go crazy talking all this junk to us?
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I'm thinking the whole time? First of all, I love it. We had a great time with it, okay? We made the most of it. But second of all, I'm thinking, why are these guys hating? Now, sometimes they weren't hating. Like, you remember the guy with the overalls?
That was at Creighton, right?
Yeah, I think that was a great.
That was maybe my favorite fan of the year.
And then he actually won something too, I think later, didn't he? He won something.
Yeah, they did like a dribble contest or something or whatever timeout, and he wound up winning something.
It was only right. So there's some people that are great, but there's some people, man, they get in these student sections, and when we come on the road, they just hate. And it's like, hey, why are you hating? Why are you doing this? I'm just trying to come over here. I know my role. I'm trying to be a star in my role, and you're over here talking junk is the word that I'm going to use to it's like, come on. So instead of that, do what we do. Motivate. I don't play that much. Usually I don't play at all. But what am I going to do? I'm going to motivate. I'm going to be out there clapping my tail off, doing everything that I can. I'm going to have the most claps. I'm going to clap more times than anybody in that building that night.
Remember, we used to count the claps during practice.
We used to count the claps?
We used to count the claps during practice.
And B Minor, how about this for some unified walk-ons? We used to get together. We used to wait, do a countdown, and then all clap at the same time in unison.
And you guys had all of it coordinated, so it just sounded like 1,000 hands amplified.
Mm-hmm. And then we would know when to stop, too.
Yeah, we had that down. We had that really down by the end of the season.
I thought you guys had some choreographed, but you also had some that couldn't have been choreographed because it was so spontaneously combustible. You can't fake that.
I got something. The Max Struess dunk in the UIC game, #1 on SportsCenter, I believe. Exactly. I didn't even know what to do. I had to look at Pont, and I just took his lead. I just did the same exact thing that he did. I was in shock. That was the craziest dunk I've ever seen.
I just about took my shirt off when I saw that. I didn't know. I was like, what? It didn't even make sense mathematically. I was trying to do the equation in my head of how that happened, and I couldn't figure it out.
That was an incredible play and an incredible bench reaction. You guys nailed it. And that was definitely #1 on SportsCenter, no doubt about it. That I can't imagine just watching it. Even when I knew what was going to happen, I was like, is he going to do it again?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew what was going to happen, right? And he still like, and I wasn't there, but I still was like, how did he just kept going up, and then just.
B Minor, tell us about some bench celebrations from back in the day. Did the walk-ons ever choreograph anything?
We had a little band routine that we would pull out sometimes, and it was more like, an air guitar. We tried that, and then we would just get amped. Like, we didn't have anything, like, choreographed, really, but we'd get hyped, and we had towels, so we would wave towels, so we would all kind of get them going at the same time. So I definitely waved a lot of towels. And that's the thing, bringing energy. You got to bring energy if you're a bench guy, because if you don't, you're an energy vampire. There's no neutral. There's no like, okay, I'm just on the bench, I'm going to just kind of give it halfway energy. You're either giving energy or you're taking energy, and don't be an energy vampire.
I like to be a giver when I can.
Give, then maybe you can ask for something. That's a lesson. If you're writing stuff down, don't ask for something the first time. Try to be the type that serves and gives and gives and gives. And then if you need something, you're more likely to have that person listen. But if you're the type that just the first time you talk to somebody, hey, can you help me out and give me something? That's not the best way to approach a relationship. So I'm a believer in life's bank accounts. So relationship banks. Every time you do something good with me, you build credit in this bank account. If you do something bad or you're late or something happens, you make a withdrawal. You want to try to build up big balances in those relationship banks, because then if you do screw up and you have to make a withdrawal from that relationship, you have something in that account.
I love that. I really do like that. But the bank account, the life relationship bank account. I'm gonna write that one down. I don't have a pen and a paper in front of me, but I'm taking mental notes on that one because that's nice.
You're taking mental notes. I take notes in a notebook because I'm not very good at remembering things always. But I have a smartphone. This is one of those. It's an internet phone, I think. iPhone, I believe it's called. But it has my calendar. It has I think everything that I looked at, the Radio Shack ad from 1992, when I was like 9 years old, I was like, oh my gosh, that's an answer machine. Or, oh my gosh, look at that. That's a cellular telephone. That's a car phone. All that. A compass, a calculator, a level. Anything that you want, like anything in that whole Radio Shack ad is right here.
Is right there.
And I don't know what got me started on that per se, but the fact is I write stuff down, I take notes. And if you're taking notes out there, write that one down, because that's a good lesson. What was it we were talking about, Pont? You got the mental note.
We were talking about life's calendar, life's bank account. Now I'm thinking about calendars. You said calendars, but life's bank account, building relationships, and continuing to add on.
I had a professor that used to talk about that, building up relationship currency.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, relationship currency. You gotta be able to trade some relationship currency, give, take.
At DePaul?
Oh yeah, my downtown.
Good old DPU.
Oh yeah.
You know what else I wanted to talk about today? Okay, so it's not too often that we have a guest on who is either from or from near Chicago, right? The city that took my heart. Mick is from near Chicago. And he spent a lot of time in Chicago. So I wanted to talk about, guess what? Chicago. Mick, tell us, because there's a lot of people that are watching who are not from Chicago and they don't understand how beautiful this city is as far as literally having everything that you could possibly want. So tell us a little bit about what being in Chicago and spending a lot of time in Chicago and being from around Chicago, what that's meant to you and some activities that you enjoy doing in the city.
Man, I'll argue it out with anybody. Chicago is the best city on earth. After school's over, I want to come back and live there, and it's so fun. There's so much to do. Especially the thing that I really think about when I think of like Chicago and basketball is in the wintertime when we were on break, nobody else is on campus. We didn't really have a lot to do. The Kris Kringle Market, going down there, getting some hot chocolate, getting a hot pretzel. I remember going down there with my boy Perry Chong, who's my roommate, who's on the DePaul golf team. But yeah, going down there with Perry, getting some hot chocolate. Yeah, wintertime, everything kind of shuts down campus. People go home from winter break, but we were still there, so we had to figure out some stuff to do. So we would do that. We went out for dinner a couple times. Had some great. There's so many good places to eat in Chicago. A lot of local spots around Lincoln Park that we would hit after practice. Devil Dogs, which I still maintain best milkshake in the city.
By far, it's not close.
You can get anything you want to. So many different kinds. That was really it.
Oh man, no, that's a good point. By the way, I will never play golf with Perry Chong ever again. I went to the driving range with him. This guy is a beast. Okay, he was hitting bombs. He taught me a lot, but he was hitting bombs. So no, maybe no more. I'll go to the driving range because I got a lot to learn, but no more actual golf with Perry Chong. Also, Brent, one fun fact, because Mick started talking about food. One fun fact about Mick and I, we were on the overseas trip and we were in France. We were in Cannes. It was Cannes, I believe. We're in Cannes, France.
It was.
And we ended up going to this 5-star Michelin-rated restaurant out there because nobody else wanted to go. And we went. It was, exactly what you're thinking. All the courses, the small little courses, all that stuff. Me and Mick went to France and we ate foam.
Foam?
Foam.
We ate foam.
Sounds like a scam. You ate like
we paid handsomely for it.
That was a very expensive meal, and that was also one of the worst meals I've ever had in my life.
We were like, what the heck?
It was the most disappointing thing I think I've ever experienced. I was so excited. We were in France and we were trying new food, and Pont's like, oh, I found this restaurant. It's 5-star Michelin restaurant. Let's go to it. Sounded awesome. And then we walking over there, and they tell us that there's no menu, that we just pay and they bring out our courses, right? And then they bring out this hot foam.
Can you imagine our dismay when we saw the price first? The first thing we saw is the price. Okay, so we're like, oh, okay.
This is gonna be good though.
We're like, we're here. Let's do this. This better be like the best meal that we ever had. And then the first course that they bring us out is foam, hot foam. I was like,
hot steamy foam.
I was like, hot steamy foam. Like, what are we doing here?
I got one night in Chicago. Where do I go eat?
Pont's your expert for that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I ate quite a few meals out here. Well, what you like steak?
I like steak. I love a good like Brazilian steakhouse, or just a good like I know you're the type that likes your steak on the bone.
Oh yeah, nice juicy bone and ribeye, 22 ounce or bigger.
Gonna do it. If you're gonna do it, you might as well. If you're gonna go red meat, you might as well go red meat. But I like a good fillet too at times. So where if I'm gonna get a steak, is there a local like a Chicago staple?
Well, there are multiple places that you can go and get an amazing steak. The first one that I would start off, if you want a bone-in ribeye, is I would go to Steak 48. Is my number one. It's called Steak 48. Another one is called Mastro's. Great.
Oh.
Mastro's is amazing. That's a big time one right there.
those.
Gibson's is a Chicago staple. It's called Gibson's. Great steaks, nice bone and ribeyes, good dessert, everything. But the number one meal for me in Chicago all around, and it's a steakhouse, but they also have seafood, and they also have like a course, like a chef's choice course meal. They give you everything. A place called Maple and Ash. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Maple and
Ash, ASH. Maple and Ash, Sweet Home Chicago. If you want to talk about good food, oh, man. And then the way you said Brazilian steakhouse, we got a Fogo de Chao out here. All you can eat. You can't beat it.
It's hard to beat a Fogo de Chao.
So good.
But if you're not starving and you just want like a really good steak and seafood, if I'm gonna go, I'm going surf and turf. I like a good steak. Maybe put some shrimp or crab or lobster. I love crab though. I love crab, but a good steak and some shrimp, I'm good.
No, I like that. Maple and Ash, it's a tasting menu kind of thing, but you can mold it as you want to. Like the place me and Mick went, they said, no, this is what we're giving you, and you're going to get it. This you can kind of like – still great. This one this one you can mix and match. So they'll give you steak, they'll give you seafood, they'll give you pasta. Like one time my dad wanted octopus. He wanted to make sure there was octopus in there, so they put octopus. Whatever you want, but it's a little bit of everything. The dish is literally called I Don't Give an F, for lack of better terms. Yeah, it's literally how it is on the menu is that. And it is worth every penny, every time.
I know where I'm going. I want to go to Maple and Ash next time I'm in Chicago. What else? I mean, they got a bean, right? There's like a bean. I mean, what? I know there's all this touristy stuff, but like what people talk about Chicago, but like give me some like, I mean, the bean, everybody's going to know about the bean, but tell me something that I might not be able to read about on Yelp.
Ooh. That's a good one. I think me and Pont tried to hit up pretty much every single food place in the city. One place that I actually never went with Pont, though, Green Street Meats. It's this little hidden spot in the West Loop. Best barbecue in the city.
I have not been there.
You need to try it out. I went there with my dad right before the coronavirus shutdown. In probably early March, right before the Big East tournament, we had it up there. Great food, best barbecue in the city.
I'll tell you what, I think.
Give me the name of the best barbecue. It's out in West Loop, but
in the West Loop, Green Street Meats.
I'll tell you what, Mick, I take great pride in being a big foodie, but Mick will plug me with some spots sometimes that I never heard of, and I'm like, man, you told me to go to that one Italian place. I think it's called La Scarola or something.
Oh, you and your dad go there?
Oh yeah,
that's great food. That's my favorite place to go.
You want to talk about some good eats? I was like, man, because for me, when I want Italian, I'll go to Carmine's on Rush Street, and that's pretty much it for me. But we were like, okay, let's check the place out. La Scarola, man, it was amazing.
You're ready to fall asleep after you get done.
I'm rubbing my belly all the way home.
Oh yeah. What do you wind up having there?
I think chicken parm.
Chicken parm, yeah, can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with chicken parm. Every once in a while, I get some kind of seafood here and there, but usually when I go Italian, I go chicken parm. Some nice calamari / octopus for appetizer, and then bring on the chicken parm.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen your dad in so long. I wanna go out to dinner with him.
Man, I'm telling you, he would be more than happy. He would be thrilled.
No, I miss Honey.
Oh man, Honey misses you too. Be minded, they call everybody calls my dad Honey because my dad is Greek. So my dad called, foreign people, oh, Honey, he calls everybody Honey. And so everybody started calling him Honey back, and then now he's just Honey.
That's a great nickname though, man. Get a little bit of what you dish out, right?
He's sweet like honey.
Sweet like honey. Here's one I got for you. I'm going to give you this quote. When making plans, think big. When making progress, think small.
I like that.
So when you're making plans, when you're making plans, think big. But when you're making progress, you just got to take it. It's got to be step by step. You can't just rush the process. So when you're making progress, think about just getting a little bit better. So, but when you're planning, when you're thinking about what you're going to do, you got to think big. You can't let other people confine your thinking. You have to think big, but then you have to make progress towards that small. And that's something that sometimes people have these great ideas. Ideas are cheap. I have ideas. Everybody's got ideas. It's about execution. I'll say that again. Ideas are cheap. It's about execution. Ideas are cheap. Everybody's got ideas. I thought of that. Oh, cool. What'd you do about it? Well, I thought of it and you did it. Well, cool. Yeah, I do have my own tournament in Las Vegas at the Westin. Cool. Well, I thought of a stay and play basketball tournament too. And well, what's yours called? Oh, you didn't do it. Oh, okay. There we go. But you thought of it. So fist bump for the thought. It's about the action and the execution of an idea. So when you're thinking, when you're planning, think big. When you're actually going through it, think small, step by step to get to where you want to be.
I like that a lot. Mick, I don't know if you've been seeing Lucas's free throw things.
Oh, yeah. It reminds me a lot of that.
What he's been saying is that progression is not linear, right? So necessarily there's going to be some days that you shoot, you go out there, you shoot 100 free throws, and you're getting out there every day, getting the shots up. Some days you might shoot worse than the day before. Some days you're going to make 75 out of 100. The next day you might make 68 for some reason. Oh, my goodness. What are you going to do? Oh, I didn't get from 75 to 90 the next day. Oh, I'm going to quit. No, it's okay. Get right back to the drawing board, get back out there. Progression, little by little, is not linear. But listen, as you want to get better little by little, you're going to make worlds progress.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think about that at the beginning of our season this last year, being undefeated for a while at the beginning of the season and being 12-1 going into conference play, and kind of the way we put that together was just like the quote said, make big plans, but progress comes that much at a time. You got to think about it like that.
Man, we were.
Talk to us about what compound interest means, Pont. You're a numbers guy. You're a math guy. Because I think that's how you should be improving. Compound interest, compound excellence, compound improvements. Talk to us a little bit about what it means to compound and why, if you're watching, you want to invest your money right now because of this principle that Pont's about to break down.
I like that. Compound interest, that's music to my ears right there. I love compound everything, right? So the more that you put in, okay, the more you're going to get out. So let's say that we're going to do it as numbers first, okay? Let's say I put in $100 today, right? I invest $100 today, and let's say that I make 10% on it this year, okay? What's 10% of $100? $10, right? Now I got $110 at the end of the year. Now if I make the next year, if I make 10% on that, it's not 10% on $100 anymore, is it? It's 10% of $110. So now I'm making an extra 10% on that $10, which is an extra dollar, right? So what am I saying? Am I just talking about a bunch of numbers? No. What I'm saying is this: the earlier that you put in, whether it's money, whether it's work, whatever it is, the earlier that you put in, the more you have to build off of, the more you have to grow off of, and later on you're going to thank yourself. Maybe you wanted to take that $100 and you wanted to go to the bar. Maybe you wanted to go eat. Maybe you wanted to go, I don't know what you wanted to spend it on. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted Robo Sapien, okay? And I saved up $100, and I thought I was the coolest guy ever when I went into Toys R Us with my dad and I bought the Robo Sapien with my $100. Now, if I would have invested that $100 at the time, I was young, obviously, but if I would have invested the $100, it would have grown every year, and it would have been way more than $100 right now. It's only 100, I'm not exactly sure how much it would have been, but I mean, I was really young. So by this time, it would have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. It would have been a few $100s now, right? Instant gratification took that $100 away from me. I had the Robo Sapien. to be honest, I don't know where the Robo Sapien is now. It's probably locked away in some treasure chest of toys somewhere that I'll never see again. Maybe I'll come across it in a few years and be like, oh, Robo Sapien, cool. But I don't have $100 anymore. The moral of the story is this. The more that you put in now, and there's never a better time than now, the more that you will have in the future, and you will thank yourself every time, I promise. Although Robo Sapien was fun, though. Had a good time.
No better time than now. The best time to put that $100 away was when you bought the Robo Sapien. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, come on. No, that was a good throwback toy right there.
I'm too old for that, man. I don't know if you know about G.I. Joe. So Robo Sapien, if you would have spent that $100 and just invested it, it would be worth more than $100 now. Robo Sapien probably depreciated in value. It's probably a depreciating asset that you have now, where if you would have taken that $100 and put it in some type of just a modest return and compound it, if you compound that interest, it grows pretty quickly. So if you're watching this right now, don't worry about material things to impress people that you don't like anyway. I'll say that again. Don't buy or try to keep up with the Joneses because you want to be popular or cool with things that don't really matter. So if you're spending money on things just to try to impress people that you probably don't even like, because the people that I know that I like don't care what type of car I drive. They don't care what type of shoes I wear. They care about who I am, how humorous I am, how dependable I am. Those are the people I want to impress. So to try to buy things, to material possessions to purchase to impress people, save that money. Take that money right now. Talk to Pont. He'll help you invest it and do something smart with it rather than just dropping $160 on a pair of shoes. Or somebody said they spend a lot of money on video games. And I was like, how do you, like, not video, like buying stuff. And I don't know if they're buying stuff on 2K or Fortnite, but they're like, my player mode, I spent a bunch of money on, I don't even know how that stuff works. But I'm like, dude, it's a fake game and you're spending real money. Like, why don't you take that money and buy something like Roth IRA?
They don't know about that.
No, they do not.
They don't know about that Roth IRA.
I tried to tell him, I was like, dude, take the money that you're going to dump into your video game and take that money that you were going to spend on something ridiculous, give it to me, and I'll give it back to you in 20 years bigger than it was.
They were buying that virtual currency, that VC on 2K.
They were. Because we were having these like deep discussions as a team, like, your house is burning down, what do you save? And everyone's like, well, my pet. And I'm like, okay, imagine your pets, families, everybody's safe. And one of the guys is like, my PlayStation, because I've spent so much money on virtual currency. And I'm like, virtual? You spent real currency, you invested real currency to get something that's completely virtual. Like, but he's like, because all my money's tied up in my PlayStation, I'd have to save my PlayStation. I'm like, dude, like, that's the biggest thing that you have that's like of importance. Like, some kids say, oh, my picture album, or
no, he's saving as my player.
My player. I'm saving my player. Oh yeah, man, I was cracking up when he said that, man.
Man, my guy's a 93 overall. You gotta save him.
He's too good, man. We're not gonna just let him burn in the fire.
We put way too much work into him. I just got him dunking. I just got him windmilling. Can't lose him now.
I guess I'm old. I don't play video games. I spend my time doing stuff that's gonna better me in the long run. And I tell kids, Tony Hawk didn't get really good at skateboarding by playing Tony Hawk, the video game. Like,
yeah.
And I get it. So, and it's way more interactive now. Like, I know video games they're playing and they're like talking to their buddies. But when I was a kid, the guys that were playing video games were sitting in their basement, just like by themselves playing video games. And so I don't know much about, I know Super Mario, I know Tecmo Bowl. Twisted Metal. There was a few of those games that came out. Madden. I played a little Madden on PlayStation 1, the OG, the original. I had a Game Boy. But is that the Black Panther? Are you pulling on? Are you?
I was just about to say, saving money is great. Do it as much as possible. But if there's one materialistic purchase that I've made in my life that I'm happy about, it's this one. My iced out Black Panther.
Iced out Black Panther is an investment, though. That's an investment.
He is an investment. That's what I like to tell people as well. Isn't he a good boy?
It's hard to find a good Black Panther, and if you can, you get it. You get it every time.
I saw this guy in the window. This is the story about Iced Out Black Panther. My roommate and I were walking by a furniture store. We saw this guy in the window. We said, we have to get this. We got to go in there. We got to see how much it costs, and we got to buy it. So the moral of the story is we went literally directly in there. We had pretty much just moved into our new apartment, and we're looking at this guy. We're like, all right, he's going to be the centerpiece. We need him. And then we walked in there. We got him along with a couple other things. We got one of those trucks, like those U-Haul trucks. We got one of those bad boys. We put them all back there. My boy was in the back, and we got him in here.
Hilarious. I love it. I would, and you can't get a miniature. Like, if you're going to get a iced out Black Panther, it's got to be life size.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, that's what I always say too. So we got this bad boy, and I'm pretty happy about it.
So if you're going to spend your money on material things, make sure it's badass like a Black Panther. That's the moral of that. If you're going to spend the money, don't do it on virtual currency. Spend your money on an iced out Black Panther. Take notes. Right? If you're writing stuff down, write that down. Don't pass up a Black Panther. He's taking notes. I see you.
If you see one in a window, you better go into the store and get it.
Let me ask, did you negotiate, or was it like a set price?
Oh, no. You know me. I negotiated. You know how
I was gonna say, like, if you went in and paid sticker price, like, they got you. They got one. They said, this guy, we got one. We got a big spender, a big fish.
Yeah, I'm pretty big on no matter how much money I have, I'm going to negotiate every time, because I know that you can probably always get a better price unless you're shopping at like Walmart or something and you're trying to like get some food, then it's got sticker prices on it. You probably can't negotiate. But the way that everything is in Greece, when I go back almost every summer, is you can negotiate everything. Like, if you pay whatever they say is on there, for lack of better terms, you're an idiot. Like, you didn't try, because everything is negotiable. So
what about if they give you, my experience when I've traveled through Mexico or some of these countries, they say best friend price. Oh, you beautiful American businessman, we'll give you like best friend price. And so I'm like, wow, me? And they're like, shh, you only. I'm like, really? Like, you like me that much that I'm the only one that can get this deal? I give you 5 off. I'm the only one. No, don't tell anybody else. Don't tell anybody. You only. This is for you. And so sometimes they get me. They get me when they start complimenting me and flattering me. Let's go. How much? And then they say, well, it's my last one. Same. No, same. But different. Same, but different. For sure.
Oh, man. Yeah, they definitely get you with that.
But that's why when I go to Greece, I'm going with the X Factor, because I don't want to be the goofy American that gets taken advantage of. And I want to know, that's another episode. If you're watching right now, tune in to the Greek special where we have a guest from Greek. I'm not going to say it's Pont's dad, but it could be. But you're going to want to tune into that, because we're going to get the lowdown on places to go in the Emerald Isle.
The Greek islands over there, the Mediterranean, whatever you want to call it. The
Mediterranean, I hear it's beautiful this time of year. I hear it's real nice.
I'm missing it like no other, I'm telling you. And I got my family out there. Unfortunately, I can't see them this year, but we're going to make up for it. Hopefully next year, I pray.
2021, the exclusive in Vegas, Pont. end of July. Mick, if you want to come out, I run a tournament. I hire people to keep score, keep stats, the whole thing.
I would absolutely love to, and I know Pont's been looking for an excuse to get out there.
You will
Vegas,
see me there.
Vegas. Vegas.
That's all that needs to be said.
You don't got to say anything else.
Anybody that's watching that hears that word, Vegas.
That word does something to me.
Man, it gets me pretty juiced, man. I get hyped up just thinking about some of the fun, high energy times that I've had in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I have a tournament there, Mick. It's a stay and play at the Westin Lake Las Vegas. So the teams stay right upstairs, walk downstairs, basketball courts in the ballroom.
Oh, that's awesome.
3 basketball courts in the ballroom. So kids go right from the resort to the pools, multiple pools, slides. You know, it's a resort. And then there's the nice lounge for the adults. And if you're bored, there's games going from 8 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. every day for 4 days. All the teams are staying in the resort. It's big time, man.
That sounds fun. I need to get down there for that.
Think about that as a high school AAU kid, where you're used to driving around, right? You're used to driving around for some crappy little gym, right? Like, and there's no
in the middle of nowhere, just
deep. Where this, it's like, oh, I forgot my sunglasses in my room. Let me just walk back upstairs and get them.
That's awesome.
I'm bored. Let's watch this team from Texas that we were playing out in the pool with earlier today. Let's check their game out at 6, get some sushi at 7. Then we'll
walk
go
around.
Back, right? They do dive-in movies. They showed Space Jam. Space Jam at the pool on a big inflatable screen.
That's sweet.
Mick, I will be there this summer. So
2021. This was supposed to be summer 3. So this was the 3rd summer of the exclusive. 48 teams, 11 states represented. It's big time.
You know what? I will be there. I guarantee you that. If Pont's gonna be there, I'm gonna be there.
Pont's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Everybody's gonna be there, barring coronavirus resurgence.
Prayers up. Hopefully not.
I am praying immensely that does not hamper the rest of the world again for years to come.
For sure. Hopefully we have a vaccine, and there's just, I mean, I'm an optimist, but I'm a realist. So that's why I wear a mask. I know this is serious. I had a friend, Charles, in the hospital right now. He had a kidney issue and he got COVID, and he's still fighting in the hospital, and he's just tired all the time, and he's not doing great. So wear your mask, be safe, avoid other people physically, not socially. Socially, you want to connect as much as possible right now with the people that you're usually too busy to connect with. So FaceTime, Zoom, text, whatever you need to do to stay connected with those people that you care about, because people right now are going through a lot of tough times, and there's a lot of mental health issues that people are having because they're just getting sorry for themselves, and they're internalizing things instead of reaching out to people and asking for help or asking for a fun conversation. So that's why I think if you're watching and you are that person that's still positive and optimistic, make sure you're reaching out to your friends that maybe aren't, because not only is it enough for you to be positive and for you to be growing, you need to make sure that the people that you care about are okay too.
For sure.
Ditto. I love it. So let's go. I think that's a good one to end on. We can wrap a little bit more afterwards, but Pont, give him a parting shot.
Well, listen, Mick, this is what we do when we leave, when we sign off on the podcast. We hit one of these, and it's legendary. So B Minor and I will do it, and then we'll do one more for you to hop in once you get the hang of it. So if you're gonna walk on. Ooh.
I like that. That's big time. I got you guys.
In that case, if you like it, let's run it back.
You want to go? You want to lead it? You want to lead it?
Pont, you got it. I'm gonna jump in.
You want to jump in?
Yeah.
If you're gonna walk on. Woo.
That's a wrap. Cut it, print it, post it, put it on the Facebook, the YouTube, the Instagram, whatever channel you got. Like, subscribe, add, follow, heart, all the good stuff. Thank you. Peace out.